Hello, my name is Haley Jones, and this is my folklore project, Joe Willie's Claim to Fame. For my project, I chose to interview my neighbor, Joe Willie Sousa. Joe is a local radio DJ in Brunswick, Georgia, and is a close friend of the family. At a young age, Joe knew that he wanted to be in the radio business. He started off his career with only a plunger and a guitar. While in high school, Joe developed a knack for imitating people. This talent helped him to win a local talent show and made him stand out to Brunswick radio owners while working at a local grocery store. Along the way, his charisma and Portuguese humor, it did not take him long for his career to take off at the young age of 20. He's been in the radio business for over 30 years and done many interesting things associated with his job. He has traveled the country from Georgia to California, met musical celebrities such as Toby Keith and James Brown, as well as famous wrestlers. Joe has also flown with the Blue Angels and played numerous jokes on the community. His goal today is to one day own his own radio station. Joe is a rare individual who loves the job that he does. In the interview, Joe stated that he will continue in this career until it is no longer enjoyable. Joe has taken the opportunity to get his entire family involved in the radio business by bringing them to help him with local morning shows as well as musical countdowns. Joe Sousa is a humorous man who sees life as a funny story and tries to find humor in all situations. When deciding who I would choose for my project, I thought about him and everything he has done to get where he is in life today. Joe is a wonderful storyteller and is interesting to listen to. I hope you enjoy listening to him as much as I did.
I think Augusta was like my frat house days. The radio station was like a frat house. It was just every Tuesday night we had poker games upstairs in the sales room. We just had some crazy people coming by the radio station. We had this one guy, his name was Sonny, and he started, when I was in Augusta, I was Joe Mama. And my morning show partner was Doug the Wolf Boy. And so we were the Rude Dogs collectively. And this guy named Sonny starts calling us up. And Sonny was very simple. He was from up in Augusta. The real redneck part of Augusta is between Aiken, South Carolina, and Augusta. It's called the Valley. And it is like, you think Brantley County's redneck? I mean, you think Alabama, Mississippi's redneck? The Valley is, I went to a party there one time, and even I was scared. As much as I can redneck up, I was like, man, this is going to get out of control. There was a fight, and then somebody pulled a gun out. It was a fun time. But Sonny was from the Valley. So Sonny starts calling me up, and he'd call me Mother. Hello, Mother. This is Sonny. So we liked Sonny so much because we thought he was a little dim-witted. We started doing a stupid game, and the game was we'd get a listener on the air, we'd get Sonny on the phone, listener on the other phone, and we would play Sonny's Always Right. So we'd ask a stupid question, and most of the time Sonny had no clue, but whatever he said was right. So you had to guess what it was. So like one day we go, what is Fuzzy Zeller? Is it A golfer, professional golfer playing at the Masters this year? B, the stuff you see hanging off the back, the things you hang off your windshield mirror, or C, a marital aid? Well, Sonny goes, I think there's some things you hang off the back window. And so the listener, he said he's a professional golfer. I'm like, no, you're wrong. Sonny's right. Sonny's always right. And so we did this for a while. One day Sonny calls me up and he says, Mother, I'd like to bring y'all a barbecued turkey. And I'm thinking, right, because, people call all the time, tells them I'm bringing food, and they never show up. So Sonny asked me how many people were there, so I go, there might be about 12 of us there. There were only two, it's me and the news guy. Sonny shows up at 6:30 in the morning, and the way you got in this radio station, you had to have a card to get into the building. It was in this historic building in downtown Augusta, Lamar building. And so you needed a card to get in the building. But if somebody walked up while you were waiting, you just followed them. So the security wasn't high tech, let me tell you. And then, so once you got on the elevator opened up to our floor, the 14th floor. So 6:30 here, bing! And I see this big turkey, and here comes Sonny. I'd never met Sonny before. Big guy. He comes out, and he's got this 20-pound turkey that's been barbecued and a loaf of bread. And there's two people there to eat it. Now later on, everybody ate some, but it was pretty funny. Sonny was a repo man. He wanted me. One day he calls me up. He says, "Mother, I'm going down to your neck of the woods. I'm going down to Brunswick. I was wondering if you'd like to ride down there with me." I said, "Well, Sonny, what do you do for a living?" He said, "I'm a repo man." I said, "Well, how is that?" He pulls his shirt off and shows me the 3 bullet wounds that he's had in his back. At that point, I decided not to ride with Sonny down to Brunswick, Georgia. He just couldn't understand why I didn't want to go with him. And I was just like, no, that's just going to be too long of a day for me, you know. I've been up since 4, you know. No, I don't think so. I don't know. Something about coming back home to get shot just didn't appeal to me at the time.
Did you get shot in Brunswick?
No, he got shot up in Augusta. He was a repo man for years. And, you know, that's just not my kind of cup of tea. We have a big radio convention once a year in first part of March, and I went to that about 3 or 4 years in a row and had a lot of fun doing that. So I got to meet a lot of cool people. I was in a room, and Toby Keith was. I look, and there's this big giant guy. I think he's about 6'6" or something, big guy. I look over and I look up. I said, "Toby Keith, how you doing?" He looks down at me, he sees my name badge. He says, "Joe Willie, how you doing?" So I said, "I'm looking for a drink." And we were in this room that there was a bar. We knew there was a bar there somewhere. He says, "Well, if you find it, let me know." I said, "Well, just come on with me." So he went with me. We went and got a drink. We shot the bull probably for another 15, 20 minutes. So that was my time with Toby Keith. That was a cool time. Another interesting story that you may still hear people talk about is people to this day think that I actually walked naked down Altam Avenue. And what we did, one of the guys on the air with me at the time, we were doing some charity thing, bowling, a bowl-a-thon or something. And we did a bet, and I bet him that I would beat him in bowling. Well, I didn't know he was a bowler. I thought I was a bowler. This guy was a pretty good bowler, so he beat me pretty bad. So the bet was that if I lost, I would walk naked down Altam Avenue. Well, we already had this planned out. So we built this up for about 2 weeks, and I was going to walk naked down Altam Avenue at 8:30 on such and such day. Well, we did this promotion. We're promoting it on there. My dad calls me up one day, and he calls me up. He's all worried. He said, "Joe, you got a family now. You got a child. You can't walk naked. They'll arrest you. You go to jail." And I couldn't tell him because we didn't want anybody to know. Only 2 people in the radio station knew at all. It was me and the guy that did the gag with me. So I debated. Finally, I told the guy at the radio station, "Listen, I got to tell my dad, or this is just, this is going to drive me nuts." Yeah. So I told him and swore him to secrecy. So what we did the day of the show, I show up and I've got a trench coat on and tennis shoes, and I've got a tank top, so it looks like I don't have a shirt, a little bit of the coat that's open. So what I did at 8:30, right before 8:30, a police car comes up, and we interview the car and ask him if they were going to arrest me. And the guy said, "Yeah, if you walk naked, you're going to be arrested." And I'm like, "Well, I guess I'll be arrested." So at 8:30, we grabbed this little dog that's in the station van, and we put this placard on the car. The dog's name was Naked. So I walked naked down Altam Avenue. And what's funny, to this day, people still think that there's some people that didn't hear the tail end of the joke. They still think to this day that I actually walked naked down Altam Avenue without any clothes. And we never said anything different. We said, "He is walking naked down the street. Come see it," and blah, blah, blah. And it was on April Fool's Day, so we figured people would catch on, but, they didn't.
Did y'all have a lot of people show up for it?
Yeah, we did. We did, and it was it was pretty funny. But to this day, people still talk about that. Walking naked down Altam Avenue. So that was kind of a cool stunt.
My project is considered folklore because it is a personal narrative and it also shows examples of jokes. A personal narrative is defined as a first-person account about an interesting, unusual personal experience. The content is normally non-traditional, and the stories are unique to only the narrator. These stories are usually true accounts. Even though the story is normally told by only one person, it is still considered folklore because it is told over and over again, and no two times will it ever be told the same. As the stories are told over a number of times, it is shaped to express the moral values of the teller. Also, no one will ever have the exact same story as the narrator because no two stories can ever be the same. Joe's stories also connect with jokes. Many of his stories are humorous and intended to be funny to those listening. Jokes are played on people as promotional stunts for the radio company that he works for. An example of a practical joke played was when Joe told the community he was walking naked down the street on April Fool's Day. Even though this joke wasn't played on a particular person, it was played on the crowd in an attempt to be funny and gain publicity. Joe's story can represent unstandardized multiple variations because each time the story is told, it will not always be told the same way. Each time it is told, it can become more elaborated or abbreviated. What I learned from this project was the story of a close family friend and how he achieved his goals. He also taught me that dreams are achievable if you're willing to work for what you want. I hope you enjoyed a glimpse into the life of a man who loves life and the humor that comes along with it.